Mic check. Yes, this is Real to Real, and this is Maddox on the ones and twos, and I have my good friend for quite a few years now, Mr. Michael Duberry, on here with us today. It's a pleasure to have you here, Mike. I was gonna give you some big, huge intro, but I didn't want to fuck it up, to be honest. So
no. That was nice. I don't need the big hype and out.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Keep it modest.
Yeah, keep
it modest. How are you though, bro?
Bro, I'm good. Apart from the midriff swelling up a little piece, I'm alright, man. I'm alright. It's good.
You took me boxing like quite a few years ago. What happened to that? You're not doing
no, what? No, my brother's still at the gym doing the boxing, and I do it now and again. But it was my whole thing about the fitness is the consistency in it, the stop-start thing. I'm getting back into it now.
I'll take you gym with me now because you come and collected me, so that's it.
No, I can do the gym. It's just the time in it. So when you got, I've got a little one now as we get into it later on. So them early mornings gym things is hard, man. Gym is hard.
It is.
It's mentally it's tough. It's getting off the sofa is the hardest thing.
Say no more.
So yeah,
leave
it's
it
tough.
at that. All right, Mike. So we're going question one, basically. Keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
On the whole football side, because I know we're beyond that and we're moving forward.
Yeah.
It's a different time, different generation. But what we're doing is we're gonna touch on that basically.
All right.
So what would you say was your biggest highlight of your football career? Just
one
the biggest highlight. Come on.
Just
me, bro. I don't know that. I'm your friend. I should know this.
So the big highlight was making it.
Yes.
Especially when you're thinking that the statistic is 0.01%.
Absolutely.
And then from the starting point and all that sort of stuff. No, I'm not saying there's some mad background story. I'm humble. Mum, dad, brother, North London, Edmonton,
say no more.
N18. Not that I'm trying to bring postcode wars into this kind of thing. You know what I mean, but like, yes, I'm from.
Remember where you
and
are,
then so
N19.
yeah, boy, it's all right, man, it's all right. But yeah, so from the highlight is making it, right?
Indeed, definitely.
From where it was and just the journey there, and then you start to pick some of the nice bits, you know, playing in the Premier League, which every kid dreams of.
Of course.
Playing against and sometimes outmarking and outplaying some of the best players of my generation, right?
Definitely.
And then look at the names I played against and the sort of respect I earned from them, right?
Yes,
That so highlights there.
100.
Playing in the Champions League, which is arguably the toughest competition, you know, bar your international football in the World Cups. It's like, you know, the creme de la creme. So playing in that. Winning trophies, playing at Wembley, you know, as a North London boy, your mum drapes you on a Sunday to IKEA, you're going past Wembley all the time, so you're thinking, I want to play there. So actually getting to play in the old school Wembley, the Twin Towers, and winning that there, and winning a trophy, winning a cup against beating Real Madrid in a cup.
Yeah, come on.
Super Cup again. So all these little highlights and
just
a few, but really I'd say making it. Making it. You know, again, 0.01%.
As a North London boy, you was destined for football, innit?
No,
was there times when he was like, boy.
Listen, I say this right. I grew up in a house. My dad wasn't a football man. My dad was a Caribbean. It's about cricket and the horse racing and the dogs, right? So if I was a West Indian or England cricketer, I might have been 20 ball, catch him. So like he was into his cricket. So there was no like, I got into football because my mum said too much energy around the house, have to do something. Right. I was going to lash you some more, stop breaking up the house, right? So we're like doing that. So I got into football for that. So everything was the next step. And the next step wasn't the most gifted player. Technically, when I was younger, there was better players. But I just had this thing of determination that stayed with me, wanting to learn, the ability to learn, always work hard. So it was every step. Until at 17, you know, I got my first professional contract, which was good. You know, going up to Stamford Bridge with my mum and dad. My dad was a bit upset because he had to take the day off work. And he wasn't always in work, so he's even vexed. I tell him, why? I'm going to Stamford Bridge. So going to the office and they said, we want to offer him a professional contract. My dad's smiling. Nice, and we come out and my dad's like, you have to give your mum some money every month now.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Standard.
And the first thing I did in my first month's wages was to book my mum a dishwasher.
Wicked.
Because I didn't want to wash the dishes anymore. You know, you still have chores, innit? I don't care, you just have chores. Yeah. So I bought a dishwasher. But then you realise, you don't wash dishes, we've got to fill up and empty the dishwasher. So that was the same thing. So, but yeah, so there's all the little things. It wasn't a thing of doubting it. There's always doubt and creeps into you throughout your career. So things happen, but I never doubted my ability. I'm someone that always sure of my ability, of what I can do and what I can't do.
Amazing.
So I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. So it's simple. So I don't claim to be anything I'm not.
But you
and
know
I,
what
yeah,
you can,
yeah, I know I can do. Yeah, so
what's within your reach.
I always play to my strengths.
Love that. All right. I wanted to know. I've known you for many years, as I said before, but I'd love to now know how you found your stride after football. Because I do know that was a difficult one for sportsmen. It's
very difficult if you do something for.
Because I kind of met
20
you
years.
towards the end.
Yeah.
Career,
when I didn't. The abs have gone a little bit, innit?
Your abs were nice. Your abs was nice.
Yeah.
Drink a whole bottle of brandy.
Yeah.
That first night that we met.
Yeah. So post football. So in my head, I never wanted to go into coaching. So it wasn't. Funny because I'm a coach now, but like different sort of coach. So I didn't want to go into football coaching. It didn't appeal to me, and I wanted my time. Where I travelled, I always thought to myself, when I come back I want to come back home and at my time with the kids. I've done enough travelling. I thought, how selfish would it be for me to then go do the coaching and then be away from the family again? Because you've got to really be 100% if you're going to be a football coach. Yeah. So I thought, what?
Same kind of discipline that you have.
Yeah, and you have to be away, like, missing Christmases and all that sort of stuff, right? So I said, when I was at Scotland, I said, I'll get into journalism. They asked me to write for the Scottish Sun up there.
That's what I was going to say. My follow-on question, sorry to cut you, was, what avenues did you pursue?
Yeah, so when I was in Scotland, I love words and I love punditry, but I thought, in my head, I thought, I'm going to do the journalism stuff and then do that for a while, be a respected writer, and by the time I get in front of the camera, everyone will respect me for my words as well, not just a former player talking. So I was doing I had my own column up in Scotland, the Scottish Sun. So I was doing a writing there, which is really good. So I thought, when I come back down, I'll just get a bit for the Sun, their sister papers, but it didn't work like that. They're like, don't care what, so it didn't work like that. But when I come down to Oxford, I played for Oxford afterwards, and I got a column in the Oxford. So I had 2 years in Oxford Mail, and I was writing, and I was doing it. So I was really enjoying it.
Yeah, I read that recently.
So then, from there, I like when I was playing as a senior person, people come to me for advice. Dude, what do you think? So always lending my hand to some of the younger players, and vocal and trying to helping people. So people go, I want you to do the motivational speaking. This way, because of social media, I've seen a lot of the American motivational speakers and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, you can't, an English UK guy can't really do the style of the American.
The pizzazz.
And plus the.
Come on, man, you got
this. Yeah. Plus the UK audience, I don't receive it that much. They're like, oh God, he's a bit over the top, isn't he? Oh God, calm down, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. So it's all done differently, isn't it? So, but you just, like most things, you do yourself. So I started doing that, and then I just went to a lady, Dee Clayton, and I did a 1-to-1 about doing public speaking. Not because I'm nervous of speaking, but I needed to know the fundamentals, how to format. Someone asked me to speak about something, how to format a talk, and from scratch. So I see her. I think it was in 3-day intense 1-to-1. It was like 4 hours, just me and her.
What was her name? Sorry, let's do
Dee
it.
Clayton.
Dee Clayton.
Yeah, she's got books out. Yeah, she's really good. Like one of her books is Getting That Monkey Off Your Back. She's really good. Just sat down in a room like this and 1-to-1. Intense, and after the first day she goes, you're gonna need a rest. I thought, I went home and slept because just bang information. But from then it was cool. Done a few speaking gigs from there, and it's just gone from there. And then I trained. So then I trained as an executive coach. So I took myself, and I'm there with HR people in sales, and I'm just there with just a football background, and they had to have all these qualifications. I phoned them up to listen. Got no background. I just want to. So they said, yeah, cool. So I did that. I remember the first day we went there, and it's you got this package. And it's full of books, and I'm not a reader. I love words. So my thing is audio books. So I get information better that way, right? Or I'm this, or I'm visual. It's all these books. I'm like, bro, I've got to read these. I'm never passing. I'm never passing.
I will be a lawyer.
Yeah, because I mean, when I read, it's I could be fresh and I'm going to read a book. As soon as I read, people start drop asleep, man. I'm like, So then, I have to read it. I'm audiobook. So done the course, passed, really done well, and it just kicked off. So now, like, you know, I'm executive coach and mentor. You know, do the speaking. So I've just shaped myself, and as over time, it's finding my way. So I started with leading with, you know, going into really like pounding through about leadership. Yes. You know, that's the thing. I've worked with many good leaders. I know about leadership, but as I've found over time, you know, I've found my niche. You know, it's gone from leadership, and it's kind of found itself into elite performance. And so, you know, now I'm more. If I was my niche, where I stand tall above most other executive coaches, any speakers, is elite performance. Amazing. Because many of them can't speak about they can speak about leadership, and I'll be challenging a guy that's got 30 years, but they can't talk about elite performance.
And that's what
you know what I mean? So that's why, that's why I kind of.
So there's not many coaches within.
No, not can speak like from what I what I speak for,
from the experience, from the horse's mouth.
So that's so leadership. There's many people talk about leadership in different ways, and I found that people want to hire. They wouldn't hire me for my leadership. They're going to the other guy, you know, this guy and that person who's been in the industry, that one who's speaking. So my thing was, okay, elite performance, which gets me more eyes and more interest.
Of course it does. It kind of more niche. Amazing, man. I love that elite performance.
Just
it's funny.
Branding, by the way. Look.
It's great branding.
Bit branding.
Great branding. We were talking about that, innit, Em, earlier. We said elite performance. You said to me, you should ask him what's the elite performance part. And we was like, we was onto that bit.
Yeah. I mean,
Em on the research over there. I was like, Em, get that website up. And then we started reading. Elite performance.
Elite performance. Yeah, I mean, listen, when I speak about it, it's like, if always say to people, I can start with a talk and saying, okay, if you're in a 0.01% of your professional industry, where would you be? And, you know, people sit and go, well, if I was in a 0.01% of where I'm at, you're like looking at CEO, them sort of high levels. So that's the sort of path what I've come through to get to. So if you use that sort of experience and my blueprint, it could help you get in where you want to be.
Makes total sense.
So,
makes total sense. Did you have any mentors along your journey, or anyone who kind of?
There's different people along the way. There's people that stand out at certain stages of your career. So
or support, or any.
I mean, always had support. Always had support. I mean, when I was playing, I mean, one of the biggest ones I always look to is David Rocastle, God rest his soul, man, indeed. Rocky. He was when he was at Chelsea. I know everyone recognises him as Arsenal, man. Chelsea, and he was like,
of course he was an Arsenal man.
Yeah. And him and Mark Steen, like, they used to speak to me, and there's to be like the big brothers in it. When you're doing something, man, look, you're like, hey, behave yourself, man, don't do it. And like, come on, Rocky, man, don't do that. And I remember Rocky, he was playing a reserve game. He took me to his house, and he showed me his medal. He showed me his, I think it was a League Cup medal. I remember looking again. Is that it, Rocky? That is small. He's like, yeah. And I remember I got mine, down the line I got mine, and always looking for it's small, man, but always remind me of Rocky going to his house. But he was a big mentor down the line, just showing me the way, looking out for me, along with Mark Steen. They just do it in the big brother way, saying, no, don't do that.
Shout out Mark Steen, God bless Rocky.
Yeah. But down the line, there's a few mentors stick out. Graham Ricks, when I was youth team, was massive for me. We still speak now. And I know his name's been tarnished along the way, you know, with certain things. And I'm one of the people that champion him, say that's not him. And I don't really speak publicly about his situation, but you know, it's one of the things where I speak my truth in it, and I say, like, listen, I've been around him for many years. He's helped me, and I would say that's not him. And if it was someone said otherwise, and they showed me a CCTV camera of his behaviour being different, I say but as far as I know, Rixie, no, and he's one of say mentors and helped me, because when you're young, one thing you do, you wanna know what it's like in that. He's an England player. I want to know what it's like. He's always trying to pick his brain, and he shared. That's one thing about him. He shared, and he gave you an insight, and he made you feel like a man. So when you're 16, 17, and you want to feel like a man, he made you feel like a man all the time, and he shared his stuff, and he was good like that, and you know, still does now. So yeah, he was a big one, and along the way, different managers helped at certain stages. But yeah, they're the ones that stick out early on.
Anyone who's helped in with this part of your journey in the latter part of your life?
You know what it is? If I'm honest, there's
been numerous.
There's a few people just along the journey where you come in contact with, and they just open a door. But my missus Nicola now, she was one of the youngest directors at Barclays Bank.
Hello, Nicola.
Yeah, and so she helped me along the way, and always been a chief supporter. Mm-hmm. Got good friends in a good circle.
Yeah, always helps.
Yeah, for real. And they always shine and, you know, helping, guiding, and being honest. Yeah. Being honest, you know what I mean? If your behaviour is not right, or if you're saying, I don't think that's a good idea, or you need to do more, or you know what I mean? And
having a good woman behind you
and sometimes
makes the world a difference.
Yeah,
I let you know that.
And just sometimes,
good woman. You heard it here first.
And just having ambitious people around you.
Yeah, man. People trying to do things and be somebody.
Sometimes if you're around five lazy people, you'll be the sixth lazy person.
100%. So let's try and have some ambitious people and some leaders and people that you've always inspired me, mate.
Yeah,
always.
I think
you always reached out to me. I love that. I've always loved that.
When you look around, you're growing up, and you're around people for certain reasons, because everyone loved the jokes, loved the drinks, and try to chase the girls or the opposite sex. It's out, you know, you had something in common. You partied, you'd club in, and as you get older, even if your values change, you know, your circle change, or if it didn't, you're still around the same people, and now you're in your 40s and you're still trying to party and drink, and you're like,
living that kind of life.
And you're like, you know, going to after parties and drinking.
Grow up.
Yeah, and if that's what you want to live, but that's why you don't move around them, because you want something different. So
you see, that's why we've remained friends, isn't it?
Yeah, because
maybe because we grew up in it.
Yeah. You have to grow up sometime. You have to grow up sometime.
Oh God. I'm playing with y'all. I'm fucking with y'all. So Mike, you've described your company as a development company, yeah? Correct?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah.
Made leaders.
Yeah, develop people.
I love it, and I've watched you over the years. I think it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. It's inspiring, and I think that's what's beautiful. But what took you? I asked you what took you in that direction. But did you think that naturally? Did you see that being the direction that was going to go after? Like, I know you had, you know, done a bit of TV, the pundit stuff and that. Do you know what? I feel like that's maybe what made me and you gel initially, is that we like to fuck about and have a chat. And we have a good convo, and no matter what we were doing, whether it's having something to eat or having a drink or whatever, is that we could always have a conversation in that kind of, but in a deeper level. When
you're transparent, like I'm a very open person, so I can to select people. I'm not saying I just go to everyone man next to me on the bench, hey doing mate, and start chatting to him.
I do.
Yeah. So, but I mean, in this direction, to be honest, it's changed, isn't it? So, like, I saw myself as maybe the journalist turned pundit and speaking and being renowned for that. But one thing I found, and when I speak to people, I say that in any walk of life, someone going to work, someone doing it, people do things for different reasons.
Absolutely.
There's usually, it's based financially, it's based passion because they love it, it's based because they have made a promise, they feel that it's their destiny. My purpose and my passion is I'm doing this because I love helping people.
Yes.
Ultimately, I love helping people. Whether I'm sitting there and trying to give advice to someone, you're in the barber shop and you're saying, why don't you try this route?
100%.
Because you love helping people.
You definitely do.
You know, and I've always...
I'm still waiting for you to give me some money. But
when I was playing, my thing was look after your craft, and then your craft will look after you, in the sense of, don't worry about the finances. If you do the best you can do and be the best player you can be, then you'll get your rewards. And it's the same now. I love helping people, so I'm not doing this for financial. My thing is my passion. I just want to see people grow. I love the fact when I walk out a room and someone's going, thank you, you know what, I spoke to you, help me and this and that. I have some players, young players come go, you know what, you said this, and I might not even remember what I said, but they remembered the words that's helped them down the line. So just helping people is a good thing. And sometimes it can be your Achilles heel, because sometimes you try and help people invest, and sometimes you need to know when you just got to let go. And I think with your kids is the biggest one, you know, when to help and when to let them do
their
themselves.
thing.
Yeah.
Let them fly the blood.
Yeah, so my passion is helping people.
Definitely, 100%. You, as I said before, you've always inspired me, and I think you have continued after football to inspire a lot of people. Is there anybody that inspires you, or you know,
every day?
Is there anyone that you know that you look at and think, that's it? They're inspirational.
Every day, if I go on, sometime when you see people doing what they're doing on Instagram, I might see some of my friends doing what they're doing. I get inspired, I see it all the time. Like, I get inspired by a lot of people what they do. Just people that have just got good work ethic. People that are trying.
Yes. Trying always helps.
Yeah. I get inspired every day by different things, different people, to strive to do better, to improve. Not in a way where I never look at someone and like green eye, I want that.
It's funny because I feel like, sorry to cut you, but I feel like you either in this life you have people givers or takers.
Yeah.
And I feel like the givers are givers. They don't expect nothing. But the takers are takers. They don't want to give shit. So it's like, it's not, I feel like it's pretty black and white with people. You can kind of, when you can work out whether they're a giver or a taker, you know where you stand with it.
I think that, sometimes.
You're definitely a giver, and I feel like that is inspirational in itself.
No, listen, I don't go out to try and be, even when you say, what you do, I don't say I'm a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, because that's what someone might feel. I don't like I just try and give a talk, and hopefully it helps.
Yes.
You know, putting a label inspirational speaker or motivational speaker, you know, I don't really like using that label. I'm a public speaker, keynote talker, speaker. So I just try and help, and hopefully it inspires someone to be better, do better. And that's what I try and do.
Is there a difficult part? What's the most difficult part of that? Is there a difficult
I'll tell you, and it's funny that sometimes, so I like quotes, and sometimes when you see a quote, it's just reinforcing what you're thinking. That's why you post it.
100%.
And one time I saw Kevin Hart, it was on a podcast, I think he's speaking to Joe Rogan. As we're going to get to the level, right? Joe Rogan, yeah?
Soon. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I remember Kevin Hart speaking, saying the hardest thing in the world is when you're going 100%, working to your max, and looking and still being in the same position.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing, because you're doing everything you can and giving all effort, not cutting any corners, and then you look and you're in the same position.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, it's hard, because you're like, either do I stop, get depressed, do I change direction? So sometimes when you're post-football and you're grafting, and you've gone from, so the hardest bit for me is going from getting up every day, doing something you love, being around 20 guys, doing something you love, and then having a joke all the time, and then just playing football like with it as well. So it's a fun thing, everything's fun. So going from working with 20 people every day to waking up and working on your own, right? So now you don't have anyone to bounce off of.
Yes.
You don't have anyone to give you feedback on your work. Like, so you're doing all this stuff, you're like doing all these things, and that should work. You don't get any feedback. So now you're in the same position. So unless you're out working and you're getting a little bit of feedback from someone in the audience, but more time you're doing work, they're not giving you feedback, because they're saying, we just paid you for this, so thank you very much. So unless they rehire you, but sometimes they just want you for that one-off to do that. So sometimes you're not even sure, how good am I, or where am I at? Do you know what I mean? So you hear a lot of no's. So sometimes going 100 miles an hour, doing all this, and then looking and thinking, well, I'm in the same position. Sometimes that's a bit of a mind fuck. But I think it's the same for, I think, anyone, sportsman retiring. Like, you go from around everyone to being on your own with the missus. And don't get me wrong, like I don't like the term banter, because I think it's just a lazy way of taking the piss out of someone and maybe invertedly bullying them. But like, you know, having jokes, you know, you can't really banter with the missus too much. You know, you try and miss, look your ankles. She goes, like, babe, it's
and they fat on
you goes, not like Mrs. Cry, but you know, you can't have them same jokes. Like, do you know what I mean? Oh man, sorry, babe, like just joking. End up just washing the dishes all day. Like, I'll make up for it. So it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? And so that's part of it's tough going from people around you to being on your own.
Yeah, cool. Get that. We've both started a family, in the last few years, and we've known each other. What's mad is that we've known each other from having a family before, and then we've moved into a different chapter of our lives. It's funny because people ask me like, Lee, you had another child? Like, I got a 6. Like, she's a baby, similar to yourself. Like, you got a baby as well. Yeah. But do you see yourself having any more?
Bruv.
That's the question.
I'm trying to give me a heart attack.
I feel like it's a question. I feel like I'm asking myself the same question.
Just start me on the drink.
Give the man a shot.
Yeah, give me a man a shot. Nah. So I always laugh. I always laugh. So I had a baby in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. So I'm like, I'm getting near 50 soon. So I'm gonna have the snip before I get to that boy. That or sleep on my front every night. Just safe. Do you know what I mean? Can't do nothing there. Front, says, baby's not mine. I sleep in my front every night. That's not mine. Oh, see.
We got visitors.
Yeah, visitors.
Funny. I love that. Sleep on my front,
so no, I've got 6 kids now. I'm happy. I don't want to lose the quality. I've got grown. And I've got my youngest now, born in May. So May, June, July, so it's like nearly 9 weeks. She's 9 weeks, and Mia's 5, Kobe's now 15, Jaden's 19 at uni, 2 older girls.
Full spectrum, like myself.
23, So do I want any more? No, I mean, the Anea is all right for me. Like, when I was younger, I could do with no sleep. But now I'm like,
it's a lot harder.
Like, no sleep, I'm like crying.
Trust me.
There's
none in the pipeline.
And especially when you're reading now, all the specialists saying those with no sleep, you could die. I'm like, God, baby, just let me sleep. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's no more for me. No more for me.
I love that. Yeah. So what's the future hold for Michael Duberry? What's the future hold? What direction are you going? Out of interest, just for the people. Just what would you say? Where are you going?
So.
Especially with the made leaders and that. I feel like if you you're doing such a good thing, and you're on a good trajectory. So I just,
obviously I speak to people and say, like, having dreams, having ambitions, visualizing where you want to be. So as me myself is to be successful. So I want to be the most sought after speaker, having the top brands, the top companies want me to come in and deliver to their workers, helping young people. Having my company, so now I have ex-pros now transforming into this coach. So there's a pathway. So just for my pathway, they don't have to go into the football punditry, the football coaching, or just totally do nothing. You use your experience. And the one thing that young players don't realise, that they have more skills and qualities than they actually realise. Again, using a 0.01%. You're more resilient. How many kids started playing football
that's transferable. That being in the 0.1% is transferable.
So getting all them people to then deliver, stand up in front of people 100%. To help. Because if someone wants help, you've got a team full of people that need help being more determined. This player's played for 15 years. He's needed determination. Speak on your experiences and deliver to them.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? And just get them to say how you can use it in their work. And it don't have to be like fluffed up. You're just saying to them, okay, if you can forget the sport, just take the blueprint of what I'm trying to say. And I always say people, success leaves footprints. If you're in this shop now and across the road was the most successful shop ever, all you got to do is what's his blueprint, and then put it into here. When people say, when I was at other clubs, like Leicester clubs, they're saying, well, you're not at a Chelsea now. Don't matter to be Chelsea. Take their blueprint and put it into your smaller, put it into here. So what you're doing is looking for footprints. What makes them so successful? And when you're talking to people, they're going brilliant. tell me how. That's what people want, innit? Tell me how. When people like reading their books, they're like, how do you do it? That's why people have like, the Instagram things are 60 seconds, 90 seconds. People don't want to hear the 30-minute talk. They just want the, people are impatient.
Juicy shit.
Yeah, so, for me is to be the most sought after coach, mentor, and have a company where I now can bring young players, former players in and deliver and show them that there's another pathway than the traditional.
That is beautiful, man.
Way. So
that deserves a clap.
I'll clap myself.
100%. Say no more. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, Mike. Where can we find you, Mike? What's your handles? What's your website? Give me the good stuff. Give me the juicy stuff.
Okay, handles. I think you heard before. madeleaders.co.uk and Michael. Oh yeah. So we do that again. and then Michael Duberry on Instagram.
Lovely.
Yeah. And Michael Duberry on LinkedIn. But yeah, listen, anyone wanting help, whatever it is, I'm always around. I'm always here. Man. I'm always, can get at me if you have like young people that you want to help. I'm always looking to partner.
Look,
and do.
This is what we're creating, Mike. This is the whole point of what we're creating. This is just about us trying to create something where we can bring people that are trying to do something for us. And when I say us, I mean a community. And I feel like we're generally getting that, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think people like yourself.
Hopefully,
I've known for many years, and I consider a brother to me.
I think everyone. Yeah, I think everyone wants. I think a lot of people want to help. People just don't always know how to help.
Definitely.
I think people get frustrated that the doors are blocked. I think since I started my other company, Next Generation, which is a sister company of Made Leaders, it's a CIC company. So I do a lot of trying to get funding to help young people. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of funding out there, but it's just not known. So you're trying to help young people, but it's not shared. So there's a lot of these big companies that have this money to do what they're doing, but it goes funneling to different people. So I think if a lot more people was out there and just do it and just keep and at the same time just try and influence the next generation.
Yep.
It's not easy because we was all young once, and sometimes we could all be hard-headed when we're young, could be thinking, what do they know? So if we can get through and influence, then hopefully
and be help.
Yeah,
and be a help.
Yeah, it would help.
Oh, amazing, Mike, man! It's been a beautiful thing to have you on the show as a brother and as a guest. And
no, pleasure, man.
Yeah, man. It's been beautiful to have you, just in regards just for inspiring the next generation, and just to have a good conversation with you.
Yeah, no, it's been nice, man. It's been nice.
A blessing. It really has, man.
It's been good.
Love, my brother.
Big up, man. Listen. Thank you.